situation really dictates. When I was in, I wouldn't. I'd wake up before everybody else is in there. And it's a lot of stuff I tell to the new guys in special operations. Like, if you sacrifice your sleep when it doesn't affect anyone else, you can really lay the foundation for greatness, right? Your first 4 years, don't rush to make her your girlfriend. Don't make her your wife. Don't have a kid. Don't get a dog. Just focus on being a Green Beret. Focus on being a Navy SEAL and just do that. Then when that girlfriend turns into a fiance, you can have the bandwidth to do them both. It's very hard to do that job, build that boat at the high seas, and now you're dragging your wife into it. It's hard to do. But, situation dictates. If it's something I really have to solve, we really have to solve it. But she knows no matter what, I'm unracking at 07. I'm not missing this for you. I'm not missing it for anybody else because she knows what's going to happen. So she'll either grab me at lunch. Hey, do you have a block here? We can talk. For sure. We'll maybe start the initial conversation. If it starts going south or I think it's going to take long, I'll look down at my watch like, honey, I got to go. I got 12 minutes to be there. She's like, okay, we'll catch up at lunch. Cool. And we'll go. I can't miss morning movement. I can't do it. That will ruin my day. And if I'm rushed through morning movement, if somebody comes in, somebody beats on the door and they're like, hey, we were in the neighborhood, just wanted to come see you. Can we talk for 20 minutes? No, you can't. No, I'm sorry. And I know it sounds bad. You can't, because I know what happens if I miss this day. And I'm not willing to take the chance on you right now. You can wait an hour. Wait till I'm done. But it's hard, And now we've kind of restructured the whole day to where I can get my time in the morning and I can leave with just enough time to see my kids wake up now. They're pouring cereal. So now I get that little dopamine hit of seeing them and I kick off their morning in a positive way. Right, I'm doing red light therapy in the morning. I'm still going to unrack at 07. I'm still getting up at 5, but now I'm just in the house getting everything processed. I'm going to leave on my terms, and that way they get to see me first thing in the morning. I only get 3 hours at night. Well, if I get 30 minutes in the morning, stacked over the course of a year, that's a huge difference. It's like we've restructured the entire day, but the whole team is also on that exact same schedule. Right? It's not just me. It's not just my world. I mean, business partners, Cole and everybody else, everybody who does that morning block of fitness, that's why I've been pushing it this whole time. And if you look at anybody in the military, anybody in fire department, anybody in special operations, the military in general, everybody's day always starts with fitness. When you're in boot camp, you wake up, you do a workout, and then you eat. When you go into buds, you wake up, you work out essentially all day long, go to sleep. It's the same thing. When you get to the SEAL team, you do the same thing. Everybody wakes up, everybody does fitness the very first thing, and then we start our day. It's been really successful. Why would I ever break that? You see guys when they transition out, they get away from it, they gain a bunch of weight, they start drinking. You working out 5 days a week? No. Why? You've been doing it since you were 17 years old. Why would you break it now? Why?
Yeah, why do you think that happens?
I think guys use excuses, injuries, limitations, lack of motivation, like, oh, there's no reason for me to be in shape. Longevity of life. Everybody says, oh, I take a bullet for my kids. You won't lose 40 pounds for them. You won't prolong life. If you think you're a real asset to your family, why wouldn't you try to maximize that time? So I look at them now. It doesn't take a whole lot. Like, you don't have to be David Goggins. You don't have to run 100 miles a day. You can wake up and do a 20-minute walk every single day and you'll be better off for it. You could grab a set of kettlebells, 30 minutes in your garage. That is something every single day that makes you exponentially better just through the repetition of being there, being present, being a little selfish right now so you can be selfish later. So for me, if I don't get that workout in, and everybody's got stuff going on, I do too. If I don't get that block of fitness in, I will think about that all day long. I'll think about it for weeks. We go back, the next time we hit that muscle group, I don't get the same numbers I thought I would. Well, that's because I took Monday off. I'm never going to put myself in that position. I don't want to have an excuse. So I set the foundation, I lay it down, I stamped it on a piece of paper. That's what I'm doing. I'm not compromising on it. And it's been great for us.
That's awesome. I mean, as somebody who got into resistance training in his teens and running, I confess over the years I felt some guilt around working out because in my community of scientists, I mean, now I have a much broader community. You go to meetings, everyone's sitting all day and eating bad food, and then, and then it was happy hour. I was never much of a drinker, but I would participate a bit until eventually I just stopped drinking entirely. And occasionally I would sneak off during some of the, I'll just be honest, the week talks. I was like, I've seen this person speak before. I'm going to get a workout in. And only once did I ever run into a colleague in the gym at one of these places. And we both were like, it was like getting caught doing something bad.
Yeah.
But then the years went by and I saw my colleagues start to die. I saw my colleagues start to get sick. I saw my colleagues start to resemble melted candles. And these were people that had a lot of robustness, and they also had a lot to offer, and families and friends. And so I think nowadays people think about physical fitness a little bit differently. They understand it's an investment and therefore it's beneficial to the people around you. But I still see a lot of people kind of couch it, especially with respect to anything that relates to muscle, as kind of selfish and narcissistic and this kind of thing. And I think it's so important that people understand the mental health benefits, but also the benefits that it can bring the people in your life. And not just longevity, but just the person that it brings. You really understand yourself. You know, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about, you know, the oracle, know thyself. It's like so important. If you don't get that workout, you're going to have to force out being best husband, best dad, best teammate. And if you do get that workout, they still get that best dad, everything, but it's that much more genuine, and it probably is in abundance.
One of the things that nobody ever talks about is your body awareness. When you do fitness for a long time, 50 years old, you've been doing fitness for a very long time, you are so in tune with that vessel that when something does pop up, you identify it right away. When you don't, you're like, my back kind of hurts. Where? You don't know. I'm in tune with that thing so well that when I walk into a doctor, I'm like, take a needle 3 inches down, rotate it over 45 degrees, and that's where it is. I'm like, okay, this is it. I'm so in tune with it. So when anything pops up, I can diagnose it. I can walk in and give them actual feedback what's happening. I'm not just sitting on the couch all day long, just like, my neck kind of hurts. No, I know exactly what it is. I'm doing a full diagnostic approach the entire day. And that's why I've got Vernon. I mean, he's the best strength coach in the world. And if I wouldn't have that guy, I would be, I mean, he's brought me back from the dead more times than I can count. But it's 5 days a week. I mean, he's in there every day. So if I walk in and I've got a slight limp on my left side, he's like, hey, my man, come over. What is that? And I was like, nothing. He's like, bruised heel? Like, yeah, how'd you know it was a bruised heel? He's like, I watched that broad jump on Friday. Like, you landed a little funky. I wanted to see if he's going to mess with you. He IDs it. I ID'd it. I just wasn't going to say anything. Okay, what are you going to do about it? Right? Be proactive instead of reactive. But that's because you're chipping away and, you know, you're understanding yourself so well because you are constantly in tune with your body, and people just forget about it. Like, why aren't you sleeping? Oh, I had caffeine at 4 o'clock. Oh, I'm accountable for everything I put in my body and then everything that comes out of me. The gym's just one of the methods that really ties them all together for me.
The body awareness piece, I think, is something that we should also underscore a bit. I think one thing that happens if people don't develop body awareness is that they don't learn the difference between something that hurts and an injury. A few years ago, right before going on Cam Haynes' podcast, where you carry that rock. I was about to say he makes you carry the rock, but you don't have to. You carry the rock up. The thing's heavy, 72 pounds, slippery, it's muddy, it's 1,000 feet of elevation, and people do it, right? You can do it, but I popped a hamstring on the hamstring curl machine like a couple days before. Oh. But I didn't pop it. Like, it didn't unravel up the tendon. So I was like, I'm just not going to talk about it. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to, because that's going to create its own thing. I was like, I'm hurt. It hurt, but I'm not injured. And knowing that line is really important, because if you are injured, it'd be the stupidest thing in the world to carry that rock up that hill, right? You end up out for 6 months potentially, or 4 months. I had years ago a back pain, kind of sciatica thing, and I couldn't stand up. And I actually was online, it was Instagram, and I have no business affiliation to this kid, but there was I think he's a chiropractor. He has this channel called Rehab Fix. And he convinced me that what I need to do is some like up dog things. It looks like you're kind of like humping the floor, your pelvis is down and you're pushing up, and you repeat those. It's kind of like lizard push-ups, know? And then against the wall, if you can't actually do that from the floor. Within 3 days, it resolved itself. And I was thinking about pain meds, which I don't like to take. In fact, I avoid them entirely. I was thinking, am I going to have surgery? I mean, I could not stand up. I couldn't move. I couldn't do it. And I realized then, I was like, okay, the line between hurt and truly injured is often kind of blurry, and you need to be able to work through that space. And you think about this, and it through one lens, and it sounds like a selfish thing. Oh, it's all about being able to work out more. But you think about it through another lens, it's people who think they're injured or who are in pain and don't resolve that are very difficult to be around. Very difficult. I've been that person. It's just everything grates on you. Yep. And male, female, young or old, people now, they talk about their neck or they sleep right. And I think being able to suck stuff up is really great. It's also important to know when you have a real issue. And so the body awareness thing, I think, is a gift to oneself. You can avoid a lot of costs, a lot of unnecessary medical interventions. You can know when it's time to take action with proper medical intervention, but also it really allows you to be in life with people without being the person that's always complaining about stuff or is just difficult. I think a lot of people who are difficult are in pain and they don't know how to resolve that pain.
Yep.
And they think they have a problem with pain, so then they take pain medication, and that's a whole cycle. So I just, wanted to underscore that kind of where we're headed here, it seems again and again, is with, what seems selfish is actually one of the most selfless things you can do. Let's talk about what you call unracking at 07. Tier 1 operators, former tier 1 operators have the lingo. So that I'm guessing, is that unracking the weight? That's when the workout starts. Phone is off.
Phone's on because we run an app on it.
Okay.
So we have Vernon Griffin.
But you're not looking at text messages.
No.
And you're not shooting selfies of your calves and biceps. Right. I point that out in semi-jest because I always joke that the first rep of every set now seems to be guys in the gym taking pictures of themselves. Yeah. The last rep of every set seems to be guys taking pictures of themselves. So 07. So what's that workout look like? You're doing it 5 days a week. I know it's going to be different for different people, but you have this program that I really want to explore with you today about how to measure progress and set standards and meet new standards, higher standards. What does that workout look like for you?
So I linked up with Vernon right when I was getting medically retired around 2019. I came back from a gnarly shoulder injury. I blew it, had a dislocation. It came through my armpit, shredded out everything. And I went from about 215 to about 180 pounds. Got stuck in a rehab clinic in Bethesda, Maryland for 31 days inpatient. And I came out like death warmed over. Worst I've ever been in my life. Worst my mental health has ever been. I did not want to play the game anymore. And the Navy SEAL Foundation hooked you up with this physical rehabilitation program in Virginia Beach, ran by a former SEAL, and Vernon was the lead strength conditioning coach. And he was my coach. And we walked in, we did full body assessments. And what's interesting about him is he took all your limitations and developed concepts and movements to establish confidence in that area. So when I came back, day one, he's like, okay, let's try to hang from the bar. I looked right at him. No. He's like, what? No, I'm not hanging from that bar. I'm done. Like I've done more pull-ups than most people on the planet. My pull-up days are done, man. Like I'm not doing it again. He goes, you got to trust me. I was like, well, it's not going to happen on day one. Slowly but surely. I mean, he's at the point where he's holding my knees. I can't even extend my arm overhead. Like
that's humbling. For a guy that when was a tier 1 operator. That's humbling. I
was so bound up by fear that it was going to come, because that was my first shoulder surgery. And if you've never had one, shoulder surgeries are the worst rehab I've ever had. And I've had a lot of them. The shoulder rehab was brutal. And I didn't want it to pop. And I'd extend and I couldn't do it. And he's like, you just got to trust me, man. Like, doctor cleared you. The anchors have set. Everything is there. But you cannot go through the rest of your life like this. He's like, you're not even 40. He's like, do you want to go another 40 years without doing a pull-up? You're going to have to trust me. He'd pick me up by the legs, I'd put my arm on there, and he'd slowly but surely start to extend me down until we got full range of motion. And we did that for days and weeks. Then we went to a band, and we took the band off. I just want you to hang. Now we're going to focus on going back up. And we built back to, I can do sets of 25 pull-ups now.
You're pulling your weight, which is what right now?
I'm like 215.
You're 6'1", 215?
Yep.
And you're doing sets of 20?
Yeah, 20, 25.
Non-kip pull-up.
Yep. And it's all bouncing back from him. But the whole program he did, because I'm not a unicorn by any means, but I've had all the injuries that everybody else has had. I've had double hip surgery. I've had double shoulder surgery. I've had my abdomen blown through a couple times. I've had them all. I've had thumbs I've had to rebuild and restructure.
Blown through.
Just everything. Yeah. When I got electrocuted, it blew out everything. Yeah. And we had to rebuild that entire thing. So all the guys that are in this process, if you're a SWAT team, a fireman, on a SEAL team, anybody in between, we've all got injuries that become limitations, and we just avoid them. You can't avoid them forever. And this program is designed to get you back in shape. And it grows with you as you go. So every single week, you're chasing numbers from the week before and pushing. On the days you don't have it, on the days you wake up and you're bound up, just lacking motivation, we're going with 100% of what we have to offer. That might be 75%. I'm giving 100% of the 75 I have today. But Monday's a pull day from the floor, usually trap bar deadlifts. And we do those because of all the injuries. I've got a really long torso. It puts my back in a weird precarious situation. So we do trap bar deadlifts. We do those, a lot of pull-up work, a lot of grip work, a lot of core stability stuff. Tuesday's a press day, heavy upper body, bench, incline, that kind of stuff. Wednesday's an upper body, lower body disassociation. So we get the upper body moving in one direction, the lower body moving the other. A lot of core
An
stability.
example of that?
We'll do a lot of banded work. We'll drop down to a knee, like almost in a shooting position, and we'll do cross body pulls with bands, resistance training, but just
So
connecting
rotational
proprioception.
stuff and sort of anti-rotation stuff. Yeah.
On that day, we'll do plyo stuff, box jumps, height, distance, and broad jump, that kind of stuff. Farmers carry walks, and all the stuff. Just trying to connect all the dots. Thursday is the most brutal leg day you've ever had, and it's amazing. We got belt squat machine, so anybody who walks in, regardless of the injuries, limitations you have, we have equipment to accommodate that.